Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's Astrology News Report, an alternate view of world events as seen through the lens of Vedic astrology, presented by yours truly, Ron Berger. Today is February 25th, 2018. In this segment, we'll take a look at the week that was and see how the planets' patterns in the zodiac matched up with the past week's events. But before we begin, a little reminder. The Astrology News Report needs your financial support to keep going. Even $10 helps, but you can donate any amount. Just stick around for the link at the end of the video. Thanks. And now, on with this week's report. In a couple of recent installments of this video blog, I talked about how the emphasis in February would be on Aquarius. Aquarius, the sign of the social humanitarian, the sign of social revolution. Now we know what the manifestation of that pattern turned out to be. All week long, the news narrative was taken over by the growing chorus of teenagers and parents rising up against gun violence in the country, and they are literally shouting their disapproval of lawmakers' lack of action. Students have taken to the streets and to the halls of political power, demanding an end to the violence. A year ago, I did a report on Uranus moving into Aries. Uranus is the planet of rebellion. Aries is the sign of the pioneer, always seeking new challenges, new mountains to climb. Aries takes the initiative. As I noted back then, this is a good combination for revolutionary action. In the chart of the USA, Aries is the fifth house, the house of children, schools, and students. A year ago, I had imagined that this Uranus transit in the USA fifth house would be a rebellion of the college students, maybe against the excessive tuition that they have to pay that puts them into debt forever. I never imagined a year ago that this transit would manifest as a rebellion by the high school students of the country in response to yet another school massacre. But here we are. Full disclosure, I have a teenage son who is in high school. Another planetary pattern that has helped to contribute to this new movement is the current transit of Mars in Scorpio. Mars is the planet of action and results, and of brothers and comrades. Scorpio is the sign of alliances, forming a group to achieve a goal. The combination of Mars and Scorpio is excellent for pursuing group goals. High school students are banding together, forming an alliance for a group purpose, the purpose of getting gun control laws passed in this country. Using handles like Never Again, March for Our Lives, Protect Kids Not Guns, Students Stand Up, and the hashtag WeCallBS. High school students in the U.S. now see themselves as a force to be reckoned with for the midterm elections this year. The clouds that have been gathering over the Trump White House have been getting seriously darker as of late. On so many fronts, this administration is under attack. There's the obviously threatening Mueller Investigation, which, despite Trump's protestations, is in fact circling closer and closer with each new interview and indictment. Last week, a slew of additional charges were laid against Paul Manafort, ex-Trump campaign manager, and his sidekick, Gates, who was deputy campaign chairman for Donald Trump. Mr. Gates has agreed to plead guilty to fraud and felony charges of conspiracy against the United States and become a prosecution witness for the investigation. And then there's the whole security clearance debacle, with key people in the White House having access to top-secret information without having full security clearance, and in some cases this has been going on for over a year. Some have left the administration, but some, notably Jared Kushner, the president's son-in-law, remain and are now coming under ever greater scrutiny. Then there's the Trump scandal stuff sex scandal. Although temporarily pushed off the front page by more pressing issues, but now there are others coming forward detailing just how Trump's lawyers, friends, lackeys assisted in covering up and silencing the women who participated in his philandering and adulterous behavior going back many years. In Trump's astrology chart, we see that there is something happening which gives cause for concern. Mars, the planet of attack, is now drawing closer to his natal moon and simultaneously opposing the planets in his 10th house, the house of status and reputation. During the first week of March, Mars will directly engage with 5 of Trump's natal planets. Mars conjunct his natal Moon-Ketu combination is quite incendiary, as is Mars opposing natal Uranus. Mars opposing natal Sun is a direct attack on his authority and power. So, get ready with your popcorn. Mars is the planet of action and aggression. Neptune is the planet of illusions and deception. Last week, Mars and Neptune were in a square aspect pattern, indicating a challenging relationship between the two planets. When Mars is square to Neptune, as it was last week, the results of actions are different from what they first appear. Is the planet of illusions obscuring an attack? Or is it just, actually, a sneak attack? Just one day before the exact square, the Robert Mueller indictments of 13 Russians became public knowledge. The reverberations from Special Counsel Mueller's indictment surprise from February 16th, which, by the way, nobody saw coming, continued to echo through the week's news narrative. There is now clear, incontrovertible evidence that the Russians did indeed attack the U.S. during the 2016 elections. The Mueller indictment laid out in 37 pages of excruciating detail what the Russians did to influence the presidential election and showed that the central democratic institutions of the country were attacked, and that, undoubtedly, they will do the same for this year's elections. And as the days, weeks tick by, the president, the commander-in-chief, has not responded. He took an oath to protect and defend the country and its Constitution. Therefore, we have a clear dereliction of duty, which is a prosecutable offense worthy of impeachment. Yet the only thing we get from Trump is a fusillade of tweets blaming the Russian election interference on Obama, on the FBI, on anybody but him. Okay, that's all the time I have for this week. And now I have a small favor to ask. It does take a lot of time, effort, work to produce these videos. If you appreciate what this YouTube channel does for you, please help keep it and me going by visiting the donation page and making a contribution. Just click on or touch the donation card you see here. Thanks. And until next week.